I won't call them lies, exaggerations, if you will.
Paul Bunyan-esque.
Yeah, a couple of exaggerations, like a couple of some things where maybe have been slightly exaggerated.
Some anecdotes.
However, some anecdotes, right? However, what I will say in regards to some of the things that I absolutely feel were exaggerated, I think you're skipping over the overall point of it, right? Like that's just it. So let's go. Katt comes in and just starts talking about other comedians, but essentially what it seemed like he was trying to do was set the record straight about other comedians that had been on Club Shay Shay and had said things. And he was like, well, no, actually, this is what it was. But it kind of went from setting the record straight to chin checking folks and putting people in their place. There were seats that were pulled out for people to sit in. There was just a lot that happened. And we are still talking about it. Like this was last week. And I think that day I said, I'm like, sometimes we need a distraction from what's going on in the world. Mm-hmm. And I fully welcome this distraction of nonsense. Because, these are just really grown, rich men who were talking bad about each other. All of them are gainfully employed. None of them are hurting for a paycheck. Y'all got too much money and go schedule a colonoscopy at this point. That's where you are in your life. Like that, but hey, beef is beef and on site is on site. And as many have said, Katt lit a fire underneath a lot of those comedians and is making them think or respond. Some of them, I think Faison is about to he's on tour or he's about to be at I'm not gonna say he's on tour. I know he's gonna be at Club Helium soon.
Be at Helium this weekend.
Yeah. So I'm sure that he's probably gonna address Katt Williams. So that's again, there's a good and bad about it. Well, I don't know what the bad is yet. I'm waiting to find out what the bad is.
Oh, the bad is people, not even Katt Williams.
The baddest people.
Yeah, because now Katt Williams he's not only as he Forrest Gump, he is a savant, he is a musician, he is everything, and people are just full sale believe in everything. Like not a little bit or taking it here and there. Man, I knew all. You know what? Katt is being real. He's exposing them. I hate the idea that everyone's exposing somebody. That's not about the people. It's not even Katt.
True. Yeah. It is true. I know it. I know the Illuminati existed.
Yep.
Katt don't call it like it is.
Katt is actually brilliant. He actually used. I don't know if you saw my stat. He used 6 of the 48 laws of power in one conversation.
Yeah.
No, dead ass for real. Like literally, like he was reading a book.
And I think his tour about to kick off.
Right. Exactly. So and he has a Netflix and he already has a Netflix special. So yeah, there was a I keep getting things for Groupon to buy his tickets.
Yeah, sell out. They finna sell out.
Like I said, so yeah, and then he already had a Netflix special. We watched the Netflix special a couple of weeks ago, I think. It was fine. I got to a point with Katt Williams that I started really feeling like everything, it was like the same special over and over and over and over again. And I was like, all right, well, I can calm down on these. I don't have to watch them as much anymore. But now, like I said, watching the interview, one, I can tell that Katt is intelligent. I've never thought that he wasn't. And I think there was a video of Bill Bellamy talking from a couple of years ago who says that Katt is extremely poignant and just thoughtful and just the way that he thinks, but you lose it. You don't hear it because of the jokes. Like he tells so many jokes that, and I get that. I fully get that. Sometimes people won't take you seriously because, they're so used to the comedy. So you can see all of that. And him talking about he was reading at an early age. I don't disagree. I won't doubt that. I do, however. Have some doubts in regards to the number and frequency of books that he read. Now,
and the types.
As a what'd you say?
And the types.
And the types. Now, look, as a proud member of the 600-minute reading club, I can tell you that I have put in my time with some books. I've gone to the library, right? I used to live by lived in North St. Louis. So before, Julia Davis was there, but before the new Julia Davis, it was a Duval Branch Library right there on Grand. And we used to go there on Saturdays and all of that. So I love reading.
So you didn't go to the old Julia? You didn't go to the old Julia Davis?
No, we just would go up the street to
Yeah, I went to the water park.
Like, I don't know why we didn't go to
the old Julia Davis was on Marcus. It was on Marcus.
So I don't know. And now that you say that, we actually were I was closer to Julia Davis than I was to Duval. But the old Julia Davis, I don't know. I have no idea.
So you went to the new one though. Then the new.
But I have been to the new one. But like I said, but Duval was the one that we always went to. That was on Grand. Like it's like Grand and Lee-ish right there. So just went up Lee and went there. But so like I said, I read a lot. But Katt claims that for a 4 or 5 year period, he read 3,000 books a year. Nonfiction. So when he says he started reading at an early age, okay. All right.
I started reading at 4, like, you know what I'm saying? I was reading on first grade at 4. I get it. Boom.
Exactly, right? Hey, like I read all the time. I'm a voracious reader. Okay, cool. Who am I to tell you that you're not? I can't prove that. I read between this 5 year period, I read 3,000 books a year. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Wait, like, hold on, let me turn this back up. What did he just say? Nonfiction books. Now, hold on. Now, look.
This wasn't no goosebumps. This wasn't no goosebumps.
Right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and listen to your lies. Now, the possibility of reading 3,000 books, if you're young, but I'm not saying you can't do it as an older person, but like definitely if you're younger, those are goosebumps books. Those are you're probably just getting into chapter books. They're not going to take that long. I remember a Babysitter's Club book is 15 chapters long.
Yep.
So I would plan out my week. I'd be like, all right, either I'm gonna do 3 chapters a day that'll knock me out in 5 days, or do 5 chapters a day, knock me out in 3. Right. So I knew that. I mean, and now as an adult, I could sit there and, knock one out.
Knock them all out.
But literally, so that's me in elementary school figuring out if this is 15 chapters, I can do 3 chapters a day or 5 chapters a day, and I can knock out this book. Right. So even if you're trying to go for more than that, right? I want to knock out a book a day. Like that's 3,000 books. It's just a lot of books. But also, I think what's the other point was that he wasn't here. He was somewhere else with his parents or something. And they were like doing missionary work or something like he was. Yeah. So the other part of that is we can't prove he didn't do it, but there's really that possibility that if nothing, he had the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if nothing, you had the time. And he talks about how reading the Bible and all of that. Now, I mean, you 66 books in the Bible. So look, I don't know how much he was reading, but 3,000 books in a year is a lot for anyone in period. I don't know if there's a world record
of the Julia Davis, St. Louis Public Library, pizza, and Cardinals tickets summer reading program.
The Book It Champion.
And I'm talking about I pressed hard to try to beat at the top of Julia Davis, and I did 100 in a summer, and that was hard pressed. Them Hardy Boys books, I was hard pressed to get through all them. Yeah, to get to 100, like 100. I mean, I was pressed. I was watching the box and reading. That's all I did for like one whole summer. I didn't see nothing on TV. I was reading and watching the box, and that's it. And I was pressed to get to 100. And that was me not having nothing to do as a 11, 12-year-old kid.
That's the opposite of Kanye. Lock yourself in the room and reading 5 books a day for 3 summers.
Yeah, we ain't making beats.
We're out here reading, nigga.
Read a book, my nigga.
Read a book.
And the next fallacy is the 4.3 40 time.
I thought he was just talking shit right there.
I think he just was talking shit.
No. Because if you go back, Shannon was like, yeah, we can walk right across to what he said to the sub. He said a sub 440. And he was like, we can go right across, get you a sub. Katt dismissed it like, nigga, I'm for real. I'm for real. And just kept going. Like,
yeah, see, I
didn't laugh at it.
I thought he was just talking shit.
Like I said, sometimes
like video of him trying to run a 4.4 today.
No.
Yes, he tried to measure and run a 4.4 today in a gym.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Yeah, I can run. Look. If you listen to me talk long enough, I'll tell you that I run a 4.5 and a 40. Like I've said that to people before. I'm like, I run a 4.5 and a 40, and like but you just throw it out there, right? Just say it, and just see how they react. Like they're like, wait, what? Like yeah.
And then Scott, then they're gonna show the dudes thinking to say 4.4, like it wouldn't.
Yeah, he turned his phone around, like I clocked him,
bruh. Like so there are little exaggerations like that, and it's like you have to move past them because even if it's the old dude on the block, the old drunk on the block that's giving the OG, he's going to exaggerate some stuff, but the overall message still remains. So he might tell you, oh yeah, I spent $5,000 on a watch one time, blah blah, this happened and that happened, blah blah blah, and he gives you this whole story. Come to find out the watch was only $500, but that wasn't the moral of the story. Right, the moral of the story was everything else that happened and how he ended up losing the watch. It ain't about the so it's like don't get caught up on the money part. There were other, like I said, there were plenty of other things that he said that were gems, and then there were some other things that were very accusatory, to the point of that if somebody, I don't know, can you sue for defamation like of character? Like, I mean, I don't know, but I'll say this. The idea of like
defamation isn't it defamation if you're believing that it is not true? You're willingly saying something you know is not true. You can't prove that he doesn't. He obviously believes.
Yeah, he believes it.
It's defamation if I'm obviously saying something I know is not true to defame someone. That's what you give him defamation.
Gotcha. So
like with the Tasha K thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
It was proven to her that it was this wrong what she was saying, and she kept going. And that's where she got jammed up at.
Yeah, is that the same chick Cardi B sued?
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, damn, they on her ass. What?
Baby, look, please understand that.
You know that's bad when somebody don't know somebody for real. He doesn't know the name, like
I didn't know anything about it until the lawsuit happened. But I hope Cardi gets everything that she can because
she's taking straight her AdSense money. Like
she's taking everything.
Taking whatever she got. If she ain't got the money, they gonna take whatever she got.
It does not matter. Period. You found a penny outside. That's mine. I want my penny because
give me this couch.
People think it's a game.
They gotta. We mentioned OJ before. Shout out to you, Stacey. One of the biggest clips we've had is the OJ. You saying that he needed to sit down somewhere. But that when you go OJ, remember I don't know if you knew the Goldmans would show up at his like events he would be at to try to get money. So OJ just started getting cash. Like you know, hey, pay me in the back. Around the corner in cash. No checks for no appearances. I want cash for all my memorabilia appearances.
Okay, so amen. So some things that Katt wanted to clear up. One thing that he talked about was Ricky Smiley and the role in Friday After Next. So in Friday After Next, Katt Williams plays Money Mike and Ricky Smiley plays like this Santa Claus character. Apparently, Ricky Smiley said that he was supposed to be the Santa Claus. It was supposed to be Money Mike. He had auditioned for that. That's what he's supposed to be. But it was decided at the last minute that he wasn't going to get it and he was going to be the Santa Claus. Katt Williams says, no, you were never supposed to be Money Mike. Like you just weren't, like you weren't supposed to be, like that was never what you were auditioning for, that wasn't it, etc. Cube comes out. Oh, and then also to a couple other things he mentions in regards to Friday After Next are some of the writing that he did in regards to changing some of the lines in his in the script, or the scene with in the bathroom with him and with him and Terry Crews and all of that, and it was actually supposed to be an actual sexual assault scene, not just implied that something was going to happen, and they took it out. So Ice Cube has responded and stated, one, that yes, Ricky Smiley did audition or whatever, right? Everybody, people auditioned and everything, but essentially what he said was that no, Ricky auditioned to be he said everybody auditioned and they felt that Ricky would be a better Santa Claus. Like that's essentially what he said. But there's also a part where Cube has said that, basically making it seem like Katt didn't help write shit. He was like, with any comedian or whatever, right, we let them help ad lib or let them get a couple of things off,
et cetera, et cetera. Never in there.
And he said the part was never in there. He says great part was never in there. He was like, I don't even roll like that. He was like, but I wouldn't take anything out of a script. He's like, but he's like, if it was in there, then it would have stayed in there, but it was never in there. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Simply put,
it had to be in there if they was in the bathroom and he was trying to get at him.
he said that apparently the way that it's written is the way that it was always supposed to be, as far as it just being implied or that it was supposed to happen. It was never supposed to actually be shown or anything. And the reality is that you're not going to show it on, like, very simply put, with Players Club, we know what happened to Ebony. We didn't see it. We didn't have to. Like, we didn't have to. We fully understood what happened. But what I'll say is this: just watching a lot of television and just even a lot of shows that have comedians who are able to do improv, right? There are so many shows that we watch every day that we have no idea that there's barely a script for, because the actors are just really that good at improv. Like, hell, Reno 911 is damn near all improv when you get done with it. But to say that you didn't write that is kind of like a slap in the face, because if there were ad libs, if there were things that were not in the script before I got it, before I took the role, and there were ad libs that I added, and now, like, I've kind of helped create the character and I've done something, I may not have a writing credit, but you can't tell me that I didn't help write this character. Like, that, to me, that's a slap in the face to me. Like, and again, if you were literally saying, yeah, like, you know, we let them do that, blah, 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 but you ain't write shit, that's it. So a lot of the comments on that are, so basically everything that Katt said was right, because you haven't said that he was wrong. Like, no one's really saying that he's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, everybody is kind of circling around the questions or whatever, but no one is saying,
Katt just being Katt, you know, Katt
like
just tripping.
Just, man, look, I got too much other stuff to do, man. I got other stuff to do, man. To get that hate up out your heart. But no one is saying you're wrong. The comment that he made about Kevin Hart and Kevin Hart's career and how quickly he skyrocketed gave me pause, because it was like,
but that's not true, though.
He's right. Like, he's
no, it's not.
Right. For me though, like, and like I said, so if you knew Kevin's Hart career from the very, very beginning, and I didn't know him from the beginning, I think I didn't see Kevin Hart for the first time. So let me say, I know Paper Soldiers exist.
The WB sitcom, but it didn't last long.
Yeah, the one with him and Faison Love.
Yeah.
So again, I didn't see that. So the first time that I saw Kevin Hart was on 40-Year-Old Virgin. I'm sorry. No, I take it back. So it was Soul Plane. And I remember saying, the person who brought that bootleg over to me to watch, and I remember looking at her and looking at the TV and being like, so you think this shit is funny? Like, what the fuck is this? So it was like, what the hell is it? So it's like Soul Plane, but then it's like, I see 40-Year-Old Virgin, and I'm like, ain't that the dude from like Soul Plane? But then it's like bam, then he's everywhere. So again, for someone who wasn't familiar with him before, it was kind of like, where the hell did he come from? So but I understand that there were definitely some dues that he paid to get to, you know, where he needed to be. Like, he didn't just all of a sudden become this, you know, Hollywood guy, but that idea that he just kind of came out of nowhere. If I thought that, if it gave me a second to think about it, there's somebody else out there who really is thinking about it.
Right. But I thought that was the biggest hater thing he did, was the Kevin Hart stuff. Because he basically positioned Kevin Hart as an enemy without like data. It was like, and it kind of gave people that, and to me, I felt the people that are like, oh yeah, he is a plant. I think he gave energy to people that were already haters of Kevin Hart already. Mm-hmm. So it was like confirmation bias of like, I knew it. And that's the brilliance somewhat of what Katt did. He understood that there's a lot of people that don't mess with these certain sets of people. I can hit them because I can confirm whatever thoughts and ideas they have about these sets of comedians. Because he didn't come, and you notice the people he came after were, Kevin Hart can snap, but if you notice, he didn't come after nobody that could really hit them jabs. Like, he didn't go after Mike Epps. He even said no hate for D.L. Hughley, because he know D.L. Hughley could cook you. Like, I'm thinking about all the people that were comedic geniuses that could cook him up. Yeah. He was real strategic with it. I got to give him props for that. Chappelle and other people like that. He knew he couldn't take shots at like that.
Yeah,
But
he's like,
I
you
felt
mentioned
but
how much
everything
he
else I
loves
was cool
Chappelle.
with. But I think that Kevin Hart stuff was like, damn, like because I feel like to me that he feels he should be Kevin Hart. That's the way it came off to me. That was like the only thing I felt like was a haterific because he was like, yeah, you know that role in such and such and such. They
Yeah,
gave
because
it
he
to
said
Kevin
he said for 5 years straight, every role that every movie that Kevin Hart was in was on my desk first.
So what do that make? Doesn't it? That feels like a hater to me.
So I mean, it's literally the ex-boyfriend at the wedding saying, "You know, I used to fuck her, right?"
It's Ray J. That's Ray J.
It's the ex-boyfriend. Yeah, I hit first.
That's Ray J. I hit it
I used to
first.
fuck with her. I used to mess with him, right? Like, I used to mess with her. Like,
Dang.
so, what? Like, okay, but you're not there now. So, like, it's like, okay, that's great that you used to, but I'm here now. Like, I'm actually.
I had some other shit going on.
Right. Yeah, Fat Face Online.
Fat Face Online.
Fat Face Online. Please understand that is the funniest shit I've ever heard. And
I think he was just throwing shots at him because he's always on Vlad.
It is. And Faison is a hater.
But Faison said some stuff about Katt too. I believe, like,
yeah, but Faison is also a hater. So that's just kind of that.
Trust assured. You know, I wasn't bumping for Faison in this at all. Like,
yeah, like
trust
Faison.
What Shannon Sharpe,
Faison
caught a stray. Faison caught a stray.
Shannon did not know what to do, and I felt so bad for him.
Honestly, Stacey, people have been talking a lot of shit about Shannon with this. Who would have been able to stop that train?
I would have let him go if it was me.
Like I said, I felt no. I feel bad. Like I said, I feel bad for Shannon because one of the things that Katt said when he first, at the beginning of the thing, was that he really wanted to be on the show because he likes the way that Shannon handles himself during interviews. He likes how he's prepared, how he does his homework. Shannon is sitting there with his cards and he has his questions ready and all of that. And he is supposed to be a safe space. And all these, hey, Katt, how you doing? Let me tell you about these niggas.
Ricky, and all these niggas on here and they was liars.
And then they all of them sitting here. And the whole time it's like he's not even sitting back. Katt is sitting up like this. And let me tell you something. And when somebody is always sitting up like this,
he aware. He fully
always aware. It's like, and this you gonna do that, blah, blah, blah. So I felt bad for Shannon. One, he could not have done this interview anywhere else. He could not have done this interview on Drink Champs. Because it would have been 12 hours long.
Nori kept ignoring him.
Nori would not have let him finish one goddamn story every time. So I am very thankful that he got to go to Shannon. And I don't want to call it a problem. But it is a problem. The problem is that the names that he was dropping were friends of Shannon or people that had been on the show or people that Shannon wanted to have on the show. So there's only so much that you can say you can't even laugh too much because he's going in on these people that you have relationships with. So it's like, it's one thing for Katt to say it and you're listening to it because that, you're having this interview, right? I can't fault you for that. But if you start giggling a little too much and you're supposed to be my homeboy, like, no, hold on, you grin, you win.
Yeah, because I was like, man, what did Ludacris do?
Ludacris called us Ludacris. Well, Ludacris is evidently in the Illuminati. He got him. What do they say? You get a light skinned weird faced wife. Is
gotta
what you
get him out the pamphlet,
bruh. Like
that was funny though.
It was extremely funny. Like everybody just caught straight. Like he's like, yeah, I got invited to an Illuminati event. Did you? You'd be like, oh. Tell me more.
But it was interesting. The only thing that it was interesting, he said that Harvey Weinstein wanted me to suck his dick, and then I showed up the next day. It was two more of me there, and I was like, "So hold on, did you suck his dick?" I'm assuming that the sucking dick was a prerequisite to be able to come to this set to do whatever. And he said two more other dudes was there. And he's like, "I'm trying to wonder how they got here. I wonder what they did." I'm like, "So did you too? Then if everybody's prerequisite to do it."
I'm trying. There's something else that he says in there. I know exactly what you're talking about, but there's something else that he says in there, like something like he's like, yeah, Harvey Weinstein offered to suck my dick in front of my people, whatever, right? And blah 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 blah. So I don't know if he said like whatever it was that he says something else, and then he says, but then he goes, next day he's back over there, and it's two people there, I guess, that maybe they got in the movie or something. Like maybe that's what it was. I'm trying to remember exactly what the story was. So let's say you had to perform this act to get into the movie. Katt was like, no, so Katt doesn't get into the movie. But the next day he ends up seeing two other actors who are now in the movie. So he's like, so what did y'all do to get into this movie?
But he's still there though. At the set.
He came back.
I'm just trying to figure out the math.
You can't ask these types of questions. You like quit trying to throw logic into this.
This was super fun. It was just fun. Just let it be fun.
Like, what the hell are you on? Like, would you quit trying to throw logic into this? Duh. What he said about Ced, he was like, they said it's supposed to be the entertainer. He's supposed to be able to sing and dance and all of these things and act. And we found out that he couldn't do any of those things. I think Ced can sing. I don't think he's going to drop an album, but he's no Wayne Brady. But Ced can hold a tune. But it is interesting that Ced, it is a show that he's on that I don't watch, because every time that I tape Jeopardy,
the one
it always comes on at the end.
The neighborhood.
With Tashina Arnold, the neighborhood.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if that's in syndication or if that's actually on TV right now.
It's still
on CBS.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I had no clue. Like I said, every time that I tape,
like 5 too.
Yeah, like every time that I tape. Oh, and that's funny. We're going to get to shit that made it to season 5 later on. That's another conversation. But like I said, every time that I tape Jeopardy, it's always on it. Like it's like the thing that's on before, or like it'll catch that beginning. And I'm like, what the hell is this show? But I've never heard anybody talk about it.
I know. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's decent regular 30-minute sitcom comedy.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But that is a question. Like, what he had Johnson Family Vacation, but it said like really a leading man. And some people just aren't leading men.
What about The Cleaner? Remember he did that with The Cleaner where he was looking like a spy?
I don't even remember that. Like, no, maybe I do,
but I don't remember it, kind of, because I think I only seen it once.
But very simply put, his role on the Steve Harvey show was fine for him. Like, it's like you don't want to say, oh, he's destined to be a sidekick, but some people just aren't leading men, or there just needs to be a role that is right for him. But again, Ced has still been working all this time. Like, I think Ced is absolutely hilarious. I don't think he's unfunny. Like, there's plenty of unfunny folks that are out there, but I don't think Ced is one of them. So that criticism with Ced is a little unwarranted for me. As far as the joke is concerned, everybody's like, it's different because Ced was in a spaceship, but Katt was in a car. Okay.
Hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC Network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.